Hello and welcome to the Introduction to Sketchcam version 1.5. In this version there are some new features and some bug fixes, so let's take a quick look. Here are the new things in this version. The parameters dialog displays the SFM and feed per tooth values for the current settings. There is a tool icon for sending G-code directly to OpenBuild's machine control. Ramp lengths have been restricted to a multiple of the tool diameter. The Gplot program has been updated. There have also been some bug fixes and optimizations to make generating G-code just that little bit smoother. Now we will look at each of these items in more detail. SFM is the speed at which the tooltip passes through the material. Each material has a preferred speed. Slower usually works okay, but faster can cause real problems. SFM is calculated from the current RPM and tool diameter. It is displayed in either feet per minute or millimeters per minute according to your SketchUp unit settings. The feed per tooth is calculated from the current feed rate and RPM. Feed per tooth depends on the number of teeth on the cutter, so it is calculated for 1, 2 and 4 teeth and displayed on the parameters dialog. We can use these displayed numbers to quickly find a combination of RPM and feed rate that gives us a good cut solution for the intended material. A feed of 0.05 mm per tooth works well across many materials like wood and plastics, but metals will probably need less than half that. The OpenBuild's machine control program is a free GUI for the Gribble control software that runs on CNC controllers like the X Pro and Blackbox. If you are using SketchUp Make 2014 or later, then the OpenBuild's icon will appear in the toolbar. If the control program is active, then pressing this button after creating G-code will transfer the G-code directly to the control program, ready for machine setup and cutting. Here is a simple cut. I generate G-code for this cut. Now I click the OpenBuild's icon to transfer the G-code. You can see that control pops up and displays the G-code ready to cut. Ramping was added to Sketchcam to get into the world of cutting harder materials. Router bits are not good at drilling, so ramping into the cut is a much better strategy. Since ramping uses the plunge feed rate, the ramp itself may take longer than expected, especially when ramping along the long side of a rectangle. You can avoid this by ensuring that you have no direct down plunges in your code. Now the plunge feed rate can be increased to about 85% of the normal feed rate, or even 100% if cutting foam. To save more time yet still have the benefits of ramping, the ramp length has now been limited to 5 times the bit diameter for long segments. This creates a shorter ramp movement that takes less time even at a much reduced plunge feed rate. Note that the ramp angle limit will still be observed. Let's watch an example of the old ramp method followed by an example of the new ramp method. When generating G-code, it is essential to check that it will behave as expected. The Gplot program provides such a preview of what the G-code is doing. Over the last year, the program has been updated to provide a better experience. Arcs are now displayed correctly instead of as straight line segments. Scaling and scrolling have been improved. The angle of the display is saved when you exit the program, and restored when it restarts instead of defaulting to the plan view. Both right mouse button and the middle mouse button rotate the display, in order to cater for those without a 3-button mouse. Some extra G-codes are handled, such as G91.1, to avoid showing errors for valid G-code. A number of small bugs have been addressed, and you can see the details in the help. The help is accessed via the big blue question mark in the toolbar, and can also be read online at the GitHub documentation site. This release can be downloaded from the resources at http://openbuilds.com or directly from GitHub. But wait, there is more! 2 new items were added after previous segments of this video were captured. When a machine has limit switches, it cannot go to machine Z0 without causing a limit alarm. There is now a setting to provide an offset to prevent such alarms. This setting is found under Tools, Flatboys, Options, Feature Options, and must be set to a negative value. The second feature is a simple implementation of reducing feed speed on inside arcs. When the arc radius is similar to the bit radius, the feed rate at the tip of the tool is much faster than the feed rate at the center line of the tool. When this feature is on, the feed rate in arcs which are either inside arcs on an outline or are part of a large plunge hole operation will be scaled. More details in the help, of course.